Hi guys, it is Brian here and welcome back to the Brian channel, and today we are going to be talking about Furbies. In the year 1998, we all got a very interesting toy that many people try to forget about, and that is the Furby. In today's video, we are going to be talking about the life and the commercial death of Furby, the holiday craze that was the 1998 Hot Toy of the Year. We're also going to be talking about security concerns about the Furby. Yes, that actually happened. If Furby was the essence of pure evil, as well as be talking about the fall of Furby and the rise of its competitors. If you would like to subscribe to my channel, I will be making more video essay type content. You can also follow me on all the social media. Links are down in the description down below. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Brian. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I'm very excited to get back into YouTube again. And anyways, let's get into it and talk about Furby.
What's that? My Furby, the first giggle pet you pet. Pet me. Keeps to say her name. Noodle. Play a game. Keep stab. Oh, and love. Uh-oh. Achoo. Your Furby sneezed. Achoo. And gave mine a call.
You all have memories of Furby, don't we? The one cuddly little creature that was animatronic, that you put batteries in it and you'd swear it would still be talking when the batteries were taken out, and you'd swear you'd put it to sleep and it'd be awake in the middle of the night. Yes, that Furby. If you were born in the 90s or early 2000s, you would know what a Furby is. If you don't know, these little electronic creatures were created in the year 1998. The concept of the Furby was to be an electronic toy pet that you could grow and interact with, just like the popular at the time Tamagotchi, but unlike the Tamagotchi, this thing couldn't die. You know, except for electronic parts dying, but anyways. Like the Tamagotchi, it had no off switch, meaning that it would never shut up. Now, I had a Furby back in the good old days. I actually wasn't the first person in the family to have a Furby. As you guys know, I was born in the year 1999, so Furby did miss out on me, especially because I was only around 2 or 3 when the Furby was kind of really popular at the time, between 1998 and 2002, which was the original production line of the Furby when they were produced. My sister had a Furby at the time, and I remember being around, I'd say 2 or 3, and being absolutely terrified of the Furby. I absolutely hated the Furby. I thought it was a demonic essence of evil. It was creepy, it was terrifying. I didn't like it, so I made my sister, who was about, I'd say maybe like 10 or 11 at the time, made my sister throw away her Furby. Yes, I was the one who made my sister crush her dreams, throw away her precious, delightful Furby that she loved a lot, but I absolutely fucking hated. Now, down the line, Furby was reproduced many different times. There was an emotronic Furby released in the year 2005, which was a really souped up advanced Furby that had a lot of facial features, animatronic parts, and was actually had true voice recognition technology, which was something that was really growing at the time. And then in 2012, Furby was completely redone and revamped for the holiday 2012 toy season, and that is the Furby that I did actually own. I owned 2 of the 2012 Furbies. I owned another one in 2012, and I also owned a 2013 Furby Boom. Those are the Furbies I had, and those Furbies were pretty advanced at their time because they actually had smartphone apps with them. And the smartphone apps were really advanced because you actually were able to feed the Furby, you were able to interact with the Furby, you were able to change the Furby's personality, which was something that was pretty big at the time. Editing Brian here. I just want to give you guys a little bit of a 2024 update because I did film this video in 2022. So in the year 2016, they released the Furby Connect, which was kind of a souped up version of the Furby Boom with different animation, colored LCD screen eyes, and the ability to connect to the internet, which is kind of crazy that a toy was able to connect to the internet, but I digress. And then this past year in 2023, for the holiday season, they released a new generation of Furby. This new generation of Furby is very different from previous generations because it doesn't have a smartphone app, it doesn't have LCD screen eyes, and it's very different. And actually my sister has this Furby. We got her a Furby for Christmas, so she has this Furby. It's very weird. It's got mindfulness on it. It's just a weird Furby, so I just kind of wanted to tell you guys those 2 different Furbies I didn't mention in this video, but yeah. These 2 Furbies happened, and they're kind of interesting, so I just wanted to mention these. Now in this video, we're not going to really be going into the subspecies of Furbies and about different Furby models. We're basically going to be talking about the rise of the Furby, what brought us to Furby, and kind of what happened after the Furby. Basically talk about the digital toy renaissance and how toy pets and toy electronic pets were really big in the early 2000s, and how Furby was directly to blame for that. So the first thing we're going to get into is kind of the history of the Furby. Now, like I said, I'm not going to be getting too much into depth on kind of the whole history of the toy. I'm basically going to be touching on the points of what really transpired the toy industry and what really changed it to kind of the digital focused toy market that it kind of had today, but it's actually really different. But let's first talk about kind of the history of the Furby. In 1998, the Furby was created by Dave Hampton and Caleb Chung after the two saw the Tamagotchi take over the world by storm a year earlier. What made the Furby unique was the fact that it could adapt and grow over time, just like the Tamagotchi, but instead of being confined to a digital keychain, it was a physical robotic toy that would talk, blink its eyes, and dance. The toy was programmed to act like it was learning English over time, giving the illusion that the toy was sentient and could learn. This not only caused people to fear it, but also caused government agencies to be wary of it too, but we'll dive into that later. The technology inside of Furby was state-of-the-art at the time. Furbies could communicate with each other with their built-in IR sensors and could detect changes in the room like lights and sound. The Furby had many spin-offs like Furby Babies, Shelby, Gizmo from Gremlins, and even E.T. and Yoda. It was a huge success and sold from 1998 to 2002. Furby made a resurgence in 2005 with the Emotronic Furby, which had more advanced facial movements and true voice recognition technology. But that wasn't as successful as the original Furby. During this time, there were many other robotic pets in the toy market. In 2012, 2013, and 2016, the Furby returned multiple times. It brought Furby into the era of the iPhone and the iPad, with LCD eyes and an app. This Furby had a lot of success and was a top toy in their respective years, but nothing could compete to the original hype of the hot toy of 1998, the original Brat. So yes, the original 1998 toy of the Furby really captured what kids wanted in the day and age. They wanted a really cool toy that they could physically interact with and watch grow. It was a really cool idea at the time, and of course, they captured really lightning in the bottom because they were really building off the backbones of the Tamagotchi, but really took it to a far more advanced level. And of course, because the Furby was the hot toy of 1998, a lot of other companies started to take that idea and drive away with it. A lot of companies did end up producing Furby clones and Furby fakes and like Furby competitors at the time, but nothing really was as advanced as the Furby at the time. Of course, after 1999 and 2000, toys did get more advanced and we did see a lot of spin-offs to Furby, but we're going to get into that later. Now we're going to talk about the holiday craze of the Furby and how crazy it was to own a Furby and try to get a Furby in 1998. According to the Furby wiki page, which is fan-made, released on October 2nd, 1998, the Furby was a major success both critically and commercially. They were initially retailed in the US from $30 to $35. Catapulting demand for these toys during the 1998 holiday season drove the resale price over $100 in the US, and sometimes as high as several $100s. Furbies sold for over $300 in newspapers and in auctions. Units flew off the shelves, which resulted in high demand and heavy shortages. The toy also came out in the dawn of the internet, and reselling websites like eBay and Craigslist were booming. The toy would sell out instantly and be scooped up by early online scalpers. I can't believe that PS5 scalper origins can be traced back to the Furby. Now, Furby wasn't the first toy to sell out instantly and go for double with resellers, and it certainly wasn't the last. The brand allegedly sold over 40 million units, and from 2000 to 2001, the brand sold over 5 million of the virtual pets, and in 2002, popularity diminished and the Furby franchise was fully discontinued. So it's easy to say that the world had a Furby craze. Now we need to talk about the lovely security that the Furby caused. Yes, you heard me right. Security concerns that Furbies caused. I wish I was joking, but this is actually real stuff. Yes, you heard me right. Little Will Furby was at one time a security threat. Because the toy was programmed to learn English, many people thought that the Furby was using its eternal microphone to record them speaking and learn words from that way. However, the technology inside Furby was not that advanced. The microphone was only there to detect and react to sounds. To go more into detail, here is the lowdown from a website called Entertainment Legends Revealed. The website says, The sophisticated electronics and sensors inside the product caused it to appear as though the toy was learning to speak English. You see, the dolls initially spoke only just Furbish, which was a nonsense language. Over time, they slowly added more English words until they spoke English. This, though, was just as a result of a program made it so that over time the dolls would automatically speak more and more English. And now there's the tricky part. Sensors would go off if you pet the doll while it was saying certain words. It would then make the Furby speak those words more often. So it seemed like you were teaching the doll to speak. That was the problem of the NSA, as they thought that the doll were actually learning to speak English words through recording people's voices. So they assumed that there was a recording device in the dolls, and thus some nefarious agency could use the dolls to record confidential information. So in 1999, they banned the dolls from their Fort Madre, Maryland headquarters, and a memo noting personal owned photographic, video, and audio recording equipment are prohibited items. This includes toys such as Furbies, with built-in recorders that repeat the audio with synthesized sound to mimic the original. That, of course, was not the case. A Tiger spokesperson released a statement on the issue. Although Furby is a clever toy, it does not mimic or record voices. The NSA did not do their homework. Furby is not a spy. So yes, in the 1990s, Furby was believed to be a spying device by the NSA. Kind of odd that the toy was so sophisticated and was believed to be more advanced than it was made to be. So yes, there was a time that the US government thought that the toy was more sophisticated than it actually was, and thought it was actually recording and learning English. Now this is crazy to think about because at the time in the 1990s, technology wasn't as advanced as people thought it was. So then people thought that Furbies were actually recording people and learning English from their recordings. Kind of crazy to think about, isn't it? Now to talk about if Furby was the pure essence of evil. That is the million-dollar question that we need to answer today. Furby was always seen as creepy and a little bit off-putting. The main reason why, because the technology at the time was so advanced that many people believed that the thing could, in some way, be alive. This next part is from a Bustle interview. As Caleb Chung put in a 2014 interview with Greg Green, Furby was a big hit because it, on purpose, was made to believe that it was alive. All electronic toys up to the time were squeeze my hand and I'll count to 10, a very self-centered toy. And so it becomes human in a way that other products hadn't been. It became human and present. However, that human-like presence may have also driven people away from it. And people thought that was scary and weird and freaky because it encroached on being human. Chung added, Furby doesn't look like a person, but there's something off the uncanny valley about it. But basically, Furby was designed to be as lifelike as it possibly can. And in that way, that does make sense. As with many other hot toys, fads typically fade over time and are replaced with new toys. By the time Furby was released, technology itself was rapidly beginning to advance, especially in the new electronic-focused toy environment. Furby was retired by 2002, and the companies behind it, Hasbro and Tiger Electronics, were already on to their next big thing, FurReal Friends. FurReal Friends were a line of even more advanced robotic toy pets that were really the successor to the Furby. Created in 2002, right after the Furby left the shelves, this line of animatronic robot pets ranged in sizes from pocket-size to life-size replica of a baby pony. One of the first being a hyper-realistic cat that could roll over, purr, move its head, and reacted to your touch. These toys were way more sophisticated than Furby and were almost triple the size. I remember these toys being super big when I was little. There was also a realistic golden retriever robot that could rise up, raise its paws, as well as a realistic parrot robot that I actually owned and was programmable and could do many amazing things. This line of robot pets is still being produced today, although not to the same extent as robot pets are not as big anymore. While Furby was a consumer-focused $35 robot, there were many that were inspired by Furby, such as Sony's Aibo robotic dog. Unlike Furby, this dog was meant to be less realistic and more of a robot. It was an extremely sophisticated robot dog that could actually walk around by itself. The first model was made in 1999 and many more were created after. There even is one that exists today. This robot dog had state-of-the-art robotic movements and lots of sensors and AI built in. All of this didn't come cheap though, with many Aibo models costing over $1,000. No wonder why this was advertised as an artificially intelligent robot companion and not a kid's toy. These robot dogs could develop a personality and learn over time as well. Aibo was a huge appeal to those who love robotics but can't own a dog. There's also a huge community of owners that came with Aibos. Another luxury but more affordable robotic companion was made by one of the original creators of the Furby a few years later. Plea is a robotic baby dinosaur created by Caleb Chung in 2007. The robotic pet was designed around a week-old baby Camarasaurus dinosaur. This robot was much more sophisticated than the Furby, with the ability to move around, sense objects, and develop a personality and grow older and more knowledgeable. Plea was able to bond with its owners and would even develop based on how it was treated by that said owner. What was unique about Plea is that no two Pleas were exactly alike. The newer models even made differences between each unit, like different shades of green and different eye colors. You would have to hatch Plea and get the robot to learn and grow over time. It was very much like taking care of a real pet. Plea sold from 2007 to 2012, and while the website is still up to this day, it is hard to find much information on whether or not they are still being manufactured. Just like Aibo, there was a huge community of Plea owners. This product definitely appealed to both lovers of robots and pets. There were many other robotic pets that were made just after the Furby craze. Wildby Robotics made many robot pets and creatures as well. There are also many rip-offs and competitors at the time of the Furby era. Today, the digital toy era isn't the same as it was back in the early 2000s. There will be plenty of robotic pets that will try to build off the charm of the Furby, but nothing will truly compare to the Furby itself. Furby was something super unique and opened a door to many new creations. And for that, we salute you, Furby. Alright guys, that is it for today's video. If you guys really found this interesting, be sure to leave a like down in the description down below. And if you did like this video and you have not subscribed, click the notification bell to get notifications on whenever I upload, and be sure to subscribe down below. I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for watching another one of my videos, and I shall see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Listen here, we've got news for you. It's Furby here with the blue for you. He can move, he can sing, he can talk to you. He can do anything that you want him to. He's Furby, yeah, he's all brand new. So check him out, and he's good for you.